my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck. Oh.
We gotta move on.
Gotta go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. We are your hosts, Emma.
I'm Allie, or Black Phillip.
What?
I know.
Oh my God, thank you.
You're welcome. Just for you.
And for those of you that don't know us, we are two best friends who like to drink wine and or White Claw, and we like to talk about our favorite horror movies.
And for those of you who also don't know, Emma loves Black Phillip from The Witch. And I always give her shit for it.
I was going to add that.
Okay.
Don't worry. But if you don't know us, it's kind of funny, but I feel like Allie can always relate one of these films back to The Polar Express. And then I can relate these films in some way to Black Phillip. So.
I have two amazing references for this film, so just you wait.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Before we get started officially, we want to give a very special shout out to two new Patreon members that have signed up for our highest Patreon level. So we want to shout out Kenneth and Dana. Kenneth and Dana have signed up for our highest level, which at this time allows you to pick a film of your choosing for us to review. So we are kind of in the talks with them right now on what films they want us to review. You guys can look out for that. And if you guys are interested in supporting the podcast, you can find us on Patreon at Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. We have several different levels, and we're actually about to kind of go in and update and make them even better and have more selections for you. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for some updates there. And if you're not following us on socials, please follow us on Instagram at Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks and TikTok. Those are kind of like our two main areas. And also, if you haven't already left us a 5-star review, we would love if you left us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, as those are kind of like two major platforms. And if you love our podcast, we would really, really appreciate it. Now, Allie, do you want to let everyone know what film we're reviewing today?
I sure do. We are reviewing 1981's My Bloody Valentine. And to give everybody a heads up, this is a heavy spoiler alert. We talk about everything in the film. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, go watch it. I think I rented it on YouTube. You can rent it a couple different places. But again, we're reviewing 1981's My Bloody Valentine, not the hot Jensen Ackles one from 2009.
Unfortunately, but fortunately. Because we really like this version.
So, Emma, what have you been up to lately?
Well, let's see. It was actually both of our dads' birthdays in the last week. So my dad turned 70, and then I think your dad turned 69, right? He's 69. Like a year younger than my dad. Great year. The producer's like, God. He's like, come on, great year.
My dad listens to this.
We love you, Dave. We love you, John.
We love you both, Dave and John. Yes.
And yeah, that's been really fun. We actually have another like birthday party for him on Sunday this weekend. So that'll be really nice. And I'm also very, very excited, and Allie is too, because we are getting ready to go to Creep IE Con. I think I call it Creepy Con, but
Creepy Con.
Yeah. It's in Ontario, California, and it's happening next weekend, I think February 2nd through the 4th, and we cannot freaking wait.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this when this episode comes out on Thursday, we will be at Creepy Con, and we have some fucking fun shit lined up. We are so excited, and we can't wait to tell you more and recap the entire thing and get some amazing content for you guys. And if you're going to CreepyCon by chance,
please let us know.
Let us know. We'll have like stickers to hand out, and we want to take photos with you. So yeah, we're really, really excited. So keep an eye out for all of that. And I had a question because we're reviewing My Bloody Valentine's Day. No, My Bloody
I hope not. Shoot.
My Bloody Valentine. What are you guys doing for Valentine's Day, Emma?
Well, I have a surprise.
Oh,
for the producer.
Never mind then.
I was going to say, what are your plans?
I don't have any. Oh, Chili's. I might go to Chili's.
You should definitely go to Chili's. We love Chili's. We fuck with Chili's hard.
I fuck with Chili's so hard.
Oh my God, no. Stop it.
The producer just started quoting Silence of the Lambs. I would fuck Chili's so hard.
We're already starting off on a silly note, you guys.
Yeah, it's one of those
It's going to be a good one.
We're a little sleepy. We've already started drinking. Speaking of drinking, Emma, what are you drinking?
Great segue.
Thank you.
I'm actually very proud to announce that Allie and I are both actually drinking a red blend wine from Phantom Wines. I believe that this is a subset of the brand Boggle wines. So they make like a phantom kind of line where they have a red blend, and I think they have a white as well. Can't wait to try the white because whites are usually like my personal favorite type of wine, but this red blend is bomb.
I love it. I'm also triple fisting, so I'm drinking this amazing Phantom Red and obviously my signature White Claw. And I just discovered this at my local grocery store.
I've been staring at that like, what
Thank
is
you.
that?
It's from Bolthouse Farms, and they make one of my favorite salad dressings too. And is it a smoothie? Is it a juice? I don't know, but it's fucking delicious.
I have one question, Alice, and I'm not trying to call you out on this podcast, but how much sugar is in that?
I knew you were to ask that. I knew that.
Tell me. Can you tell me right
I don't
now?
look at it. What's the sugar cost of happiness?
I digress. Cheers to us, and cheers to episode 14. We
You're
both
right.
just looked at each other because we just realized that this is episode 14 and this is celebrating Valentine's Day, February 14th. I mean, it's not coming out that day, but holy shit.
Holy shit.
How cool. The stars really do align.
They really do. And cheers, you sugar judging bitch.
Cheers to
I
me.
love you. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. All right, you spooky scoundrels.
She's trying on some jeans and seeing what fits.
I am.
You know?
Okay, anyways, we're diving into trivia now. And we have the producer. He kind of hunts down a couple of trivia questions for us that we do not know ahead of time. And we answer them kind of privately to ourselves. We write down our answers here at the top of the podcast. And then at the very end of the episode, the producer will reveal the answers to us. And then Allie and I will kind of check ourselves and see who won the round.
Okay, let's get into the question.
Okay, question number 1. What is the name of the mining company? Ooh.
Question number 2. What Canadian province was My Bloody Valentine filmed in?
Ooh.
I know that one.
Okay, and question number 3. Ooh. How many miners were buried alive in the mine's gas explosion at the beginning of the film?
Got that. I got that one.
Same. And then I think the producer has a bonus question for us because Allie and I might be neck and neck right now. And our bonus question is, when Axel has his quote unquote accident, how deep does TJ tell Patty and Sarah that the water is?
I think I know the number, but this seems pretty extreme.
We'll see.
Okay, we'll see, bitch.
Bah, bitch.
Bah, bitch. Wow. Let's get a t-shirt with that on it.
All right, guys. So write down your answers for questions, technically 1 through 4, if you got that bonus question as well. And we will reveal our answers at the end of the episode.
So we're going to get into our movie, My Bloody Valentine. And the plot of this is a decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turn out to be true to legend when a group of deafies... What the fuck is a deafie? Is that what yours says?
Defies. Allie, when I read it too for a hot second, because I wasn't looking, and then I looked and I was like, oh my God, I actually don't know what those were, but then I backed up in the sentence and I was like, oh no, it's
Cut.
Defies.
I'm starting again. A decades-old folktale surrounding a deranged murderer killing those who celebrate Valentine's Day turn out to be true to legend when a group defies the killer's order and people start turning up dead. Anyways, you get the point. So, Emma, tell us some basic info while I go walk into the water and cry.
Well, first off, I want to give a quick kind of first impression of this film, because before we really start to get into the meat and potatoes, I want to say that I absolutely loved this film. I had never seen it, and I think I had only seen the 2009 version, which we'll talk about a little bit, but it was supposed to be a 3D push. So a lot of theaters were really pushing people seeing it in theater so that they could get that 3D experience, and it definitely got a huge push. Anyways, I loved this 1981 original version, and the producer and I just were cracking up and just loved all the practical effects and how it's about Valentine's Day. It all worked for me.
I totally agree with that. I did watch these back to back, the 1981 and 2009, which is why I keep shitting on 2009, but I hate that I shit on it because it's a stacked cast.
They tried.
But no, I loved it. It was campy. It was cute for its time. And it was enjoyable to rewatch a couple times. And here's my hot takes, you guys. It's giving The Notebook and The Polar Express. You just wait to hear why. But those are my initial thoughts. So just keep that in your little heart.
Oh, yep. I think I'm getting The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
I still will never understand Polar Express. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Until I explain it. Yep.
And in terms of like scores for this film and kind of just like, again, getting into like the basic info, this has a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb. And then Allie, do you want to give us the Rotten Tomatoes?
Yes. So Tomato Meter was 62, which is literally on par with IMDb. But our audience score was 44%. And I'm like, I liked it more than that.
Yeah, rude.
That's so rude.
Like, why isn't everyone agreeing with us?
Always.
At all times.
Literally all times.
This film was actually directed by, forgive me if I mispronounce his last name, George Mihalka.
You got me. I have no idea. Yes, sure.
And written by two writers, Stephen A. Miller and John Beard. And for our top billed cast, this is a very interesting one.
Oh, no.
Because a lot of the people that were cast in this film were not really known for many films, either before or after, with the exception of a few. And several of them actually starred in some TV series. So just quickly kind of going down the list. We have Paul Kelman, who plays TJ, and he's like one of our main characters. And he's known for Black Roses, Caged Men, and a film called Gas.
All I can think of when I hear his name throughout the film is TJ from Just Friends, when Anna Faris says that.
Oh my God, I did not think of that at all, but you have now put that into my brain.
I'm sorry. So
thank you.
We're going to say that name a lot. So TJ. Went down into the mine shaft.
Shoot. And then we have Sarah, who's another main character, played by Lori Hallier. And she was actually on several TV series. She was in Star Trek, Civil Wars, Strange Days at Blake Halsey High.
To me, she looks like a younger Naomi Watts.
Yes. Oh my God, they were totally
Right?
each other in just a different time.
100%. And both are still beautiful to this day. But like, Naomi, is that you? Where'd you come from?
Naomi?
That's her name, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it is. And then we have Neil Affleck, who plays Axel. He is kind of like in this love triangle with TJ and Sarah. And he is actually in a classic horror film called Scanners, which I love.
His name is Affleck. No relation. Because I looked it up. I scoured the internet and I was like, hello?
Another Affleck?
Another Affleck? Where'd you come from?
Affleck.
Oh, no.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. And then we have Keith Knight, who plays Hollis. We love
Hollis. Of course we do.
He kind of reminds me of like a John Belushi type of character.
For sure.
And and he was in the film Meatballs, if you guys know that film. Then we have Alf Humphreys, who plays Howard, and he's just a goofy guy in the film. And he was in actually X2, like the X-Men movie, and in another film called First Blood. Then we have Cynthia Dale, who plays Patty, who is Hollis's girlfriend. And she was in Moonstruck, and she was in a TV series called Street Legal.
And for a lot of those like later characters, I basically refer to everybody as a horny teenager because they all look the same and
they all act the same.
They all act the same. So like if I say horny teenager that has red hair, like I'm sorry.
I think I tried to like write their character names down.
I could not. I couldn't keep up. They literally, and especially with like all the coal dust or like stuff on their, I'm like
limestone dust or whatever.
Whatever's on their face.
Oh,
like
no, you mean like actually the coal stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, like I could not keep up, so I just say horny girl, horny boy. I'll do my best to describe what's going on though.
Got it. Perfect. And then we have Helene, or just Helen, or Yudi. She plays Sylvia, and she was actually in Stephen King's The Dead Zone, and she was also in a different Star Trek series called The Deep Space Nine. So love that she was in The Dead Zone because I love Christopher Walken.
Don't we all?
And then getting into our fun facts about the film, one that might give away one of our trivia answers here is that this was actually filmed in Canada, in specifically Nova Scotia.
And they sorry. And you can actually hear a lot of the actors' accents throughout the film. So the town that it's supposed to be is Valentine's Bluff, but they never actually say where Valentine's Bluff is, whether it's in Canada, America, or like...
Yeah, they keep it vague kind of on purpose, I feel like. This film was actually shot in authentic mines, which were sometimes like as far as 900 feet underground, which is kind of spooky. And they could only use like certain lighting devices because mines had a lot of potential danger of methane explosions. So they truly had to be like very, very careful with all of the cast and crew.
So speaking of the mines, when they scouted out these mines in Nova Scotia, they were like, these mines look gross and, like actually mine-like. And once Nova Scotia town, whatever it's called, was like notified that they were picked to film there, the town actually cleaned up the mines to make it look prettier, obviously, like represent your town. But when the people came to film, they were like, what the fuck? We wanted dungy and dirty and gross.
Yeah, like we need it to look like a mine.
Yeah, so
They had to dirty it back up.
they had to dirty that shit back up.
And then I have just two more kind of fun facts that are very random, but I did read that one of the makeup artists actually, they shipped a dummy corpse to the set purposely in a coffin, which caused a lot of alarm when it arrived at Canadian Customs, which I thought was probably hilarious. And I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in that
same.
scenario.
Literally same.
And then probably my favorite fun fact is that this is actually Quentin Tarantino's favorite all-time slasher film.
I low-key feel like we've said that before, but I love that he loves this movie.
I love it too because I already loved it, and then hearing that he loved it just solidified it for me.
We love Quentin. Quentin is king.
Quentin is king. Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you.
All right, fuckers. Ooh, that was good.
See, doesn't it feel good?
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
Okay, so starting out our film, in our opening, we have two miners that are walking in a mine and they are in full miner gear. So picture like kind of like an auto shop looking kind of jumpsuit. And then we also have, they're wearing gas masks so that obviously they can stay safe very, very deep in the mines. And then they also have, are those called pickaxes?
Yes.
Pickaxe? Okay. So I think one of them has a pickaxe or maybe both of them. There's a pickaxe there. And they are navigating through the tunnels and they all of a sudden stop. And one of the miners actually kind of starts to strip down a little bit and take off her mask. And she's wearing just a bra. And it's a really cute little blonde gal. And you can tell things are about to get frisky.
And we like don't know like how these people came into the mine. Like, how did they meet? Are they lovers? All of these things. So keep that in mind. Also,
yeah, we have a lot of questions.
I have so many questions like throughout this basically entire film. So get ready. But speaking of, do mines still exist to not just tour, but like to actually like mine coal?
I believe so, especially in the Appalachia.
Okay. I'm not sure you said that right, but okay.
I think I did.
Okay. Well, they scare the fuck out of me. The town I got married in has a mine and I went into it one time and I almost had a fucking panic attack.
I don't think I could ever work in something where I'm like that far below ground and there's a possibility at any time that I might not be able to get out.
Anyways, back to
Scares
our
me.
two little miner people here. One starts to take off her suit, like Emma said, and then she takes off her mask. And I'm like, oxygen levels. We got to keep that in check. Are you going to suffocate? I don't know.
Yeah, like you obviously have that mask on for a reason. So
Yeah.
like, why did you take it off?
Or was it just for kink? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. And we're not yucking anyone's yums.
100%.
So like, it's all good if you're into that, girlfriend.
I'm just confused about the logistics. Anyways.
Moving on. And they kind of have like her and this other dude, we're assuming dude. We actually don't know. It could be a
We
lady.
don't know.
But basically the other person that she is with, they keep their whole mining gear on. And so she's sort of rubbing his like phallic looking gas mask tube.
What the fuck?
And they're having this like sensual moment. And she tries to like take off his mask and he kind of whispers like, no.
And that's like sketch as balls, you know?
Totally.
Why would you trust that at all?
And I should mention too that he had already set his pickaxe down kind of to the side of her. And then all of a sudden,
Not set down.
He
thrust it into the
wood,
side
right?
of, I don't know, like the side of the cave, the side of the shaft.
there you go.
Oh, God.
The shaft.
Oh, no, the shaft. So many phallic references already.
So phallic. And he was looking at her chest and noticed that she has a heart tattoo right on her booba. And he just grabbed her and basically stabbed her from the back in that spot.
Like arm day going strong. He lifted that bitch up, not to victim shame, but he lifted her up and like put her on that pickaxe. And
Yeah.
But low key, as a first girl, I'm like, my fear of mines might have saved me from this. And then I recalled some stuff and I was like, maybe not.
I was going to say, I think she's like low, like not in a mean way, but maybe a little lower than a first girl. Cause I feel like some first girls wouldn't have done this because they might have, I don't know,
Been smarter?
maybe.
We'll get to that on another date.
Only a test would tell. And then we get this amazing title scene that says My Bloody Valentine, and the two O's in bloody are little hearts and they're dripping blood, and I love it. It's very vintage looking. It's got great font, great design. Shout out to whoever designed that.
I agree. Like, very on brand for 1981 for this kind of film. So we see that shot. Now it's Thursday, February 12th, and present day. Not that we knew when this
Previous scene
was. We got no answers from what just happened.
It's a very cold open. There are no answers. It's not warm whatsoever.
But regardless, a bunch of miners are doing mine things. And I don't know.
Doing mine things.
You know.
I know. I don't think that during this entire movie that we actually see them doing any work.
No, they don't like pickaxe the wall.
The coal.
It's like Derek Zoolander looked like he was
exactly
in that.
What the producer said. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, I got the lung pop.
I got the black lung pop. Also, it's giving October Sky. If you haven't seen it, see it because it is amazing. It's got Jake Gyllenhaal, Laura Dern, I'm pretty sure. Yes. And it's an amazing cast. It's an amazing movie. I love it. But back to this one.
To this film that we're reviewing.
One of the miners actually mentions the methane problem. And he's like, this place is going to blow to shit one of these days. And I'm like, foreshadowing? No, not really. But he does talk about the methane because
that's an important part to kind of just keep in the back of your mind.
Yeah, and it alludes to like something coming up that we'll talk about.
And some of the miners are also kind of teasing some of the apprentices that are working in the mine, and they've actually left some of them down so that they had to kind of like figure out their own way to get back up to the top of the mine. And all of the miners, they end up all going into the showers together, or like their kind of locker room. And I think this is really funny because there's a shower scene with all of them. And according to director George Mihalka, the actors and extras playing these miners in the group shower scene were actually naked, like fully, even though they were filmed from the chest up. So
it's method, you know?
Yep.
You got to give it to the method. And
just a fun time.
I mean, good on them, you know? Love your body. But we're introduced...
Body positivity.
Yes, exactly. We're introduced to some main characters here. TJ, and he low-key looks like this shitty dude from The Holiday.
But like kind of hot?
No, like, yes.
Right?
So the shitty dude from The Holiday is Kate Winslet's the one she wanted.
Yeah.
But then
her love interest.
Sort of. But then she got smart. But I'm like, daddy?
Yes.
100%.
And then we also get introduced to Axel, who we get the idea from the get-go is one of his like good friends. But then we also find out that TJ has been gone somewhere for a while and that he's just come back to work back at the mines. So I think him and Axel sort of have this like a bit of a broken relationship. And they actually kind of talk about how Sarah is dating Axel now, and Sarah actually used to date TJ.
So they're Eskimo brothers.
They're Eskimo brothers, and you can tell right away that this is creating some kind of like love triangle tension.
That's a weird place to bring that shit up, is in the shower when you're all naked together.
Very weird, but you know what? Guys being dudes.
But Axel kind of brings it up, and TJ's like, yeah, I degaff. Like,
yeah, he's like, I don't care.
It's
whatever.
Cool. It's fine.
And then this next scene I love is when all the guys are running, literally running out of the mine, because you can just tell that they are young guys, probably in their early 20s, and they're so excited to just seize the day now that they're done with their mining shift. They've been down underground with no daylight, probably all day long, and they just want to go to the bar and get a beer. And I love all of them because they're all just so goofy. And I don't know if it's just because this is like the 80s, but they've got like the funniest little like blue collar outfits on, and they are racing to their cars so that they can all kind of race each other to the bar. And I think they say like last one to the bar has to buy everyone brews or something. And it just like, honestly, they just look fun.
I agree with that. They clean up real quick.
Yeah, they cleaned up real quick for sure.
But yeah, they all had cute little outfits and they're running out of the mine in their cute little cars. They all have bitchin' cars, by the way.
Yeah, they do have cool cars.
And they're like, let's fucking run to town and get some brewskis, bros.
And as they're driving, we actually get to see the sign for the town. So we get an official kind of introduction into what the town's name is, which is Valentine Bluffs. And we actually see as they're driving into the town that the whole town is decorated for Valentine's Day. And everyone's kind of getting ready for this Valentine's Day dance. And we see the guys actually arrive at like this town hall where they meet up with essentially all of their girlfriends and like just gal friends who are decorating for this like upcoming dance. And it just throws up Valentine decoration everywhere.
That's my question is like, what the fuck kind of, I mean, I get that.
I love it.
I mean, same.
Allie and I live for holiday decorating, so I love it.
Live for it, honestly. Every day's a day to celebrate. I don't know about Valentine's Day, but I still love it. Like,
but if your town is Valentine Bluffs, like hell yeah.
100%.
Go hard.
But like a normal town, like taxpayers are paying for this, no?
No idea where the decor is coming from.
Is this the second time we've talked about taxpayers in the past
This is on a taxpayer's dollar.
But I mean, it's cute as fuck, and the literal whole town, even down to like some of the cop cars have decorations on them. I'm like, cute. I love it. It's giving Hallmark. I'm like not opposed.
Yeah, this could have easily turned a different direction. Easily been a Hallmark film and not a horror film. But that's not the kind of podcast that we have.
I'm also like when the miners come and meet their ladies at like the place they're decorating, they all kiss each other and like, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you.
There's actually one couple I love specifically because it's a really tall guy with a really short girl. And this is going to sound weird to explain over a podcast, but they're facing each other to say hi. And he grabs her kind of by the head, but because her arms are on his wrists, it's not like hurting her head, but he lifts her up by the head and gives her a kiss because she's so little and short.
We low-key see a lot of that in the movie. And
I like it. It's cute.
Is it?
I thought it was cute.
Okay.
I thought it was funny. It was like their little thing because they're like so different in size. I don't know.
But it happens in not so funny situations in this movie.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot.
You shoot. Oh, darn.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're decorating in the town and we start to learn more about the town's history.
We do. Yeah. And we see the mayor and a gal named Mabel. And they are kind of walking together to the hall. So they're on their way and they're bringing, some decor that Mabel has. It's kind of inferred that Mabel is maybe leading the charge in terms of like decorating for this dance and planning this dance. And she's just talking to the mayor about how she's so excited. And, she says, it's so crazy that this is the first Valentine's dance in 20 years. And then their kind of conversation sort of takes a little bit of a turn and you can tell that there's been a shift in energy. And the mayor asks Mabel if she can kind of play down the fact that this is the first Valentine's dance in 20 years, because we can tell that something happened 20 years ago that they maybe just don't want to remind people.
A lot of this movie is very vague, which, hey, leave everything to the imagination. I kind of love it, which is amazing. But one of these little fuckers, because this town is full of young fuckers, and I'm like, how many young fuckers can be in one town?
So many.
This is the kind of town where if you're a lady, you kind of work in the stores or like the restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And if you're a dude, you work in the mine. So one of these little male motherfuckers runs off after the mayor with a heart-shaped box.
And the mayor is excited. He's like, okay, I've got a little box. I'm so excited, what have you. And Mabel and the mayor kind of part ways. And then all of a sudden, the mayor is now taking a ride with the chief in his truck, and he decides to kind of open this little box, this heart box that he received from, I think his name is Howard.
See, that's why I say it's little fuckers.
And the mayor's kind of excited and he's like reading the note, and he reads the note as he's in the truck with the chief. And it says, "From the heart comes a warning with bloody good cheer. Remember what happened as the 14th draws near." But inside the box
happens to be a human heart, or what we think is a human heart. And what I would like to say to you, life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
What kind of bloody heart you're gonna get. You never know.
That's all I could think about when I was watching this.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. And then the mayor is like, fuck, it's happening again.
No, yeah, he literally whispers. He's like, it can't be happening again.
Brother, it is.
Now we are back with the crew, or the horny...
young fuckers.
Okay.
Young dumb fuckers.
Okay, thank you. Now we're back with them. And we are at the Cage Bar. And one of the bartenders, actually the bartender, there's only one, I think, is trying to kind of warn everyone at the bar that they should beware of the 14th. And as this is happening, we actually see that TJ and Axel are definitely having some tension. They're kind of staring at each other across the bar as Axel is kind of hanging out with Sarah. And then we're back with the bartender, and he starts telling some of the patrons that are actually like seated at the bar about the story of Valentine's Day, or Valentine's night, I should say, 20 years ago. And he says that it's been a tradition for over 100 years in their town to have a Valentine's Day dance. And there were some miners on the 14th, 20 years ago, who were finishing up work. And there was about 5 of them that were still down in the mine. And there were 2 supervisors at the top. And they did not wait for the crew to finish up. And they also did not check the methane gas levels.
They wanted to go bounce and get some tail at the fucking dance.
Who wouldn't? Just joking. Definitely always take your safety precautions if you're in a job like that, please. And there was actually a really bad explosion that happened down there, and 5 of the men were buried alive. And for 6 weeks, the town and rescue crew were trying to do this mission to kind of rescue all these guys. And they actually ended up finding one of them alive. And the bartender was actually one of the guys that found Harry Warden. And he was the only survivor. And they found him eating some of his peers that he was trapped down there with.
It's giving Alive, the movie, if you've seen it.
Yes.
You should. Also, it's giving the Donner Party. Also, don't you think after 6 weeks, you would low-key be dead unless you're like a superhero?
Well, he's been eating people.
But like oxygen.
True.
He wasn't wearing his fucking face mask thing.
That is true. Maybe that explains why he's a little cuckoo bananas.
Sure.
He's lost some oxygen. And
haven't we all?
So they send Mr. Harry Warden to a mental hospital, and he's there for the next year. And then 1 year later, on Valentine's night, he actually comes back to the town of Valentine Bluffs, and he kills the supervisors that were there with him that night. And he tears out their hearts and then stuffs them into heart boxes for people in the town to find. Harry warned everyone in the town never to hold another Valentine's dance ever again. And the legend has it that he waits every year to make sure that people follow his warning.
Here's my hot take on that is who can attest to this? Because like it's giving Jack Sparrow and like the Curse of the Black Pearl, everybody died or whatever the fuck. And Jack Sparrow's like
how do you know?
How do you know? Well, who can tell the tale?
That's a good question.
And also, if he's in the mine every Valentine's Day, why aren't we sending out the SWAT team every Valentine's Day?
There's definitely some questions here as to the validity of the story. And then in the bar, we see Sarah kind of get up and leave Axel for a second. And she says she wants to go to the jukebox, which just so happens to be where TJ is kind of hanging out. And she kind of chats with TJ for a hot second. And she sort of like starts to blame him a little bit and is like, it's your fault that you left. Then we cut to another scene where we have the chief and Mayor Hannigan, and they're actually trying desperately to call the mental hospital to see if Harry is still there. And because, again, the mayor kind of just received this Bloody Valentine box, and they need to figure out if it's Harry that's still doing this. And they kind of downplay the threat a little bit and are wondering if it's some kind of a joke or what have you. And they're actually visiting some sort of like a scientist or maybe someone who performs like autopsies.
Like
and
a morgue dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he confirms that it is actually a human heart. And he says that the woman is about 30 years old.
I'm also confused because like everybody's like, he's still in the facility. No, he's not. There's a lot of communication errors happening here.
Lots of communication errors.
It's problematic.
Anyways, so then in our next scene, sweet Mabel.
Oh, our little Mabel. So
sweet Mabel.
We're back in town in our cute little decorated Valentine's town, and we see the killer, who we assume is Warden, come and like walk around the streets, and he comes up to the laundromat where it's Mabel's mat. I'm pretty sure it's what it's called.
Yeah, it's like her laundrette.
Her laundrette. How cute. She's a cute little Tootsie Roll. Yeah. She's a cutie patootie.
And he's like definitely watching her like make some decorations for the dance. And he watches her as she goes kind of in and out of her building. Like there's like kind of 2 main rooms that she's in. And he's sort of watching from the outside. And then he actually goes into the building.
And he leaves a little gift for Mabel. And it's like, oh. And
is it all?
No, it's not. But like you get it. And then all all of a sudden we see Mabel come in and she's like, cutie patooties, who sent me this little
I know, she's so innocent.
I know, like, why her? And she sees this little gift box on the table and it has a note, and the note says, roses are red, violets are blue, one is dead, and so are you. And I'm like, okay, poet, this killer needs to work for Hallmark immediately.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the lights go off, and like, obviously we know like her fate is coming.
Yeah, the miner, spoiler alert, attacks her, and he ends up stabbing poor sweet Mabel. We actually don't see the stabbing, which is interesting because there are actually other cuts of the film that I think there's two main death scenes. There's this one with Mabel and then one a little later in the film where they cut a lot of the violence of it because the MPAA, they actually cut more than 5 minutes out of the film because the movie was released shortly after John Lennon died. And for some reason, they just didn't want to have major backlash against like any kind of violent movies.
Oh shit, I did not know that.
Yeah. So Mabel's death, even though if you watch it, it still is kind of violent, or at least like later on when they find her body, but like the actual act of it was supposed to be a lot more in depth in the film, and then also a scene later on.
There's
fun fact for you.
That is a fun fact, and it's kind of blowing my mind, but because like there are other kind of more brutal deaths. But,
Totally.
Okay.
So then in our next scene, we are with all of the guys in the crew.
They're like in a junkyard.
They're in a junkyard.
And I'm like, I'm from a small town, but I never ended up in a fucking junkyard. Or did I?
And there's like 8 or 9 of them. Do none of you guys have like a place where everyone can hang out? Or
also, how old are these people supposed to be? I don't even think I thought about. Okay.
I mean, they're old enough to go to a bar, I'm assuming. But
yeah, so
in the
why
80s, what was the drinking age? Still 21?
Bro, I don't know.
Don't know.
But like, go to someone's house.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, one of y'all's got to have a house.
Low-key though, like junkyard would be fun.
Yes, but also what they're doing raises a lot of questions for me because
True.
They're cooking food using parts of the car engine. The producer just looked at me and said, well, Canada.
Also resourceful,
but you don't need to be. You guys are minors. You're probably making pretty good money. I don't know. I have some questions. Just saying.
I have so many questions after this, but I don't know.
So then we see a point of view shot of someone kind of watching this group of guys from within the car stacks. And you think, as the viewer, you're like, oh, it's got to be the killer. But we actually end up seeing that it's actually TJ, and he sneaks up onto Axel as Axel is playing the harmonica. And they kind of sit together in one of the junkyard vehicles for a second while the other guys are kind of off making food or whatever the hell they're doing in the car engine. And they have a little bit of a chat. I do appreciate that they both were kind of like, well, we've got a little problem here that we need to talk about.
Well, I'm like, also, like, why are you playing harmonicas together if you low-key have beef? If you're Eskimo brothers, then I would not be playing a harmonica with you. And they're like kind of like being cool with each other. And I'm like, am I watching Vanderpump Rules? Are we on Bravo?
Just guys being dudes. They talk about how Axel's with Sarah now. And he's like, bro, I didn't know where you went or if you were ever going to come back. Like, what did you want me to do? And TJ, love this confident king, is like, well, you and I both know who Sarah wants. Which I was like, damn, get it, TJ. I mean, he's right.
All caps, no facts. All facts, no caps.
I don't know at all.
That's what the kids say.
God, you're aging us when you say that.
I know, and I'm saying it incorrectly, which is aging us more.
Say it right. Okay, so now we're back with the chief, and he is finally able to get a hold of a woman that works at the mental hospital, kind of like a secretary or maybe the gal that runs it. I don't really know.
I don't know, but bitch can't be bothered to help.
She cannot be bothered. But like, I also kind of get it. Like, she's like, bro, what do you even need all this shit for? What have you? And she basically says that she cannot find any record of Harry Warden anywhere. And she says there's 3 options. He's either dead on the slab or he's been released. And those are her options. And all she can do is look at some maybe deeper records that they have, but it may take a couple of days. And obviously the chief is like, bro, we don't have that kind of time.
But also if you knew this murderer villain was out there for 20 years, wouldn't you like have done this beforehand?
Yeah, they definitely should have kept a little bit of more of a track.
I support that. And then we see Sarah strolling around town. Sarah, like the love interest of 2 young men. And she's with Patty, her friend. And I sometimes refer to her as the girl that wants to be known as a slutty dress friend. So I apologize if I say that.
Her wishes, not ours.
I also love myself a slutty dress.
Yeah, we all do.
And
the producer does too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But her Patty is like, hey, have both of them. This is where I'm like, is Sarah actually questioning this? Like, is she not committed to Axel?
Yeah, totally. Like it's like TJ came back and just like fucks shit up.
Either break up with fucking Axel and be with TJ, or like, anyways, what I'm getting at is I'm pretty sure Sarah's the villain in this movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that take.
Thank you.
I like that take. And then on the flip side, we see the chief and he goes to Mabel's laundrette and he wants to talk with her about the dance because the mayor was kind of toying on canceling it, especially with just like what's been happening and because they have this fear that Harry might be back. And as he goes into the laundrette, he can't see Mabel anywhere, but he's definitely getting this very weird smell. And some of the decor, some of the hearts have been turned upside down. And he kind of starts to follow them down a line. And it's almost kind of like they're pointing to a specific dryer. And unfortunately, the chief finds her body.
Yeah.
Spinning in a dryer. Right. And it's pretty graphic. She kind of pops out and goes, hey. No, she doesn't actually do that, but she pops out and like half of her body pops out and it looks very severely burnt. Dried.
She was in a dryer. She dry, but not really.
And then now the mayor and the rest of the chief's team, they're now at the laundromat where Mabel died. And they're just like talking about like what to do next. And they want to keep things really discreet because they do not want to put the town on high alert. And the chief actually instructs his whole team to say that Mabel died of a heart attack and to not speak one word about anything malicious happening to her within the laundrette.
The laundrette, that's a new word for me. Anyways, like he's telling nobody? That's insane.
I know. But you gotta make those some kind of like those political decisions sometimes.
I'm pretty sure that's an illegal one. And low-key, she kind of did die of a heart attack because her heart was ripped from her chest cavity. And what
that was going to be my next note.
What do we find in her chest cavity?
Well, the chief finds a note in her corpse that says, if it happened once, it happened twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen thrice.
Hallmark is busting at this dude's door. Seriously. Yeah. Also, like, where's CSI? Like, shouldn't CSI be like examining?
Too small of a town.
Anyways, so this shit happens and it's very ominous and the mayor is like, fuck this shit. We need to cancel the dance, take down all the decorations, and that will stop Harry from fucking more shit up.
He says, no dance, no parties.
And then the chief's like talking to the young fucking horny kids and he's like, yo, dance is canceled. And because, you know, Mabel died and that sucks, blah, blah, blah. And the young kids are like, but Mabel would have wanted us to have this dance. And they're like, fuck this shit. We're going to do our own thing.
Yeah. And then back at the mine, we have Axel and TJ continuing with their pressure buildup, kind of related to a mine, if you will. And I don't know. I think I'm just pulling shit out of my arse.
Patootie.
Yeah. Or my patootie. They kind of argue about one of the mine tasks that Axel gives TJ. And TJ's like, I'm not going to do that. They get in a little bit of a tussle in the mine and they kind of get in trouble by their supervisor. And then things kind of end there. And our next scene, we see TJ, and this is so weird and random. After his shift at the mine, TJ's in regular clothes. He's in his, I think, Camaro, and he just grabs Sarah from a store and like kind of not aggressively, but like playfully aggressively, like leads her into his vehicle and is just like, you're going to come with me.
No, but she's like, no.
Yeah.
But then she like willingly
totally
gets into his car.
And they drive to the beach and they basically are having this kind of one-on-one talk about what happened when he left. And she's really mad at him that he didn't write or call.
He didn't write? You didn't write me?
I wrote you every day for 7 years. I don't know why I keep doing such Southern accents.
So talk about the notebook, huh? At the top, I mentioned the notebook. I wrote you every day for, was it whatever years? And she's like, why didn't you write me back? And here we go. We have a lover's triangle.
Wow.
And he didn't write.
And then, surprise but not surprise, TJ tells her that he wants her back and that he loves her and to give him another chance. And he says, I'm sorry. I'm so damn sorry. And then they kiss. End scene. Then we're back at the bar and the whole crew is hanging out. And Axel asks TJ, because TJ comes back in and he's like, where's Sarah? And TJ's like, I'm not in charge of looking after her. Blah, blah, blah.
Also, women can look after themselves, but like whatever.
Totally. Then the crew all decides together that they are still going to have a Valentine's party and they're going to have it at the mine in the rec room. And they kind of joke about Harry Warden killing people. They're like, oh, I'm Harry Warden and blah, blah, blah.
I'm sorry. Was the party at the rec room in the mine?
So what I think is that there is a rec room at the top of the mine.
Okay.
Where like kind of like the admin offices are of the mine.
My world is shook. Totally thought it was like a diner in town.
Oh, no. That was like they had the party
I thought
at
they
the
meant
rec
like
room.
in the mine.
No.
Okay. My world is shook. Here we go. Let's get into it.
So if you thought that too, no. The rec room is at the top of the mine, kind of where they probably have like offices and stuff.
Like a lodge.
And kind of where like it's close to the locker room where the guys like take their showers and like all that stuff like after their mine shifts.
Changes everything for me. I'm good.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
And then I guess they're like, yeah, fucking no dance, no problem. Let's have a party at the fucking mine. Stupid young fucks.
Yep.
God, to be young.
And the bartender warns them again. He's like, do not have any type of party. And then TJ tells him, he's like, you better not tell anyone that we've had this party. And then I kind of love this part, but hate this part.
Yeah.
But later that night, the bartender, he goes to the mine. He dresses up in his probably old like mining uniform. And he sets up sort of like a joke for the kids that when they open up like a part of the rec room or some kind of door or closet in there, that there will be like a miner that kind of pops out at them.
Like a booby trap.
Like a booby trap, yeah. And he sets it up as a joke to scare the kids and he tests it multiple times.
And like he's been drinking, so we obviously like know that he's not like full brain capacity, just like I'm not because I've had wine and White Claw now. But
Same.
it's just like foreboding. Like you can tell something's gonna happen.
Totally. And as he tests it kind of the last time, and he's like, it's so sad because he's like laughing each time. Like he like opens it, the little booby trap kind of like comes out at him. And then he's like, ha ha, closes the door, opens it again, ha ha. And then the last time.
This ain't gonna end well.
It's the actual miner and he gonna get stabbed with a pickaxe.
And he did.
And he did. Damn it.
Damn it. R.I.P. legend.
Damn it to heck. R.I.P.
And now it's Saturday, February 14th. And something interesting is that 1981, Valentine's Day was actually on a Saturday. So good on production.
So they were accurate?
They were accurate because I was like, no, there's no fucking way. I don't remember the last Valentine's Day out on Saturday, but I guess it happens. So it's Saturday, February 14th. The town's like kind of quiet and the sun's going down, which means the young will come and play and be fucking stupid.
And be idiots.
All the young fuckers bring all the party shit to the rec room, which I definitely thought was the diner.
The rec room.
And I was like, what happened to the mine? But no, it is at the mine. So thank you guys. And meanwhile, while those young fuckers are doing that, the chief gets a heart box delivered to the station and his colleague has no idea. And he's like, hey, this was brought to you.
And the chief's kind of freaking out.
He's like, oh, fuck. God. Yeah. And he hasn't told any other staff, which is like sus. But he opens it up and it's not a heart, but it's candy from Mabel. And like,
Mabel.
Was Mabel like way older or like was I making that up in my mind?
She wasn't she was probably the same age as like the mayor and the chief. I think her and the chief had like a little thing.
Oh, well, I love that. Like, and also if she was older, no shade.
Who cares?
I don't.
We're not ageist.
Yeah. I married a younger person. He's 2 months. Okay?
I've married a way older person. I'm not married.
What the fuck? Anyways, so
wait, Allie, back up for 1 sec. What did the note say from Mabel?
Oh, I don't remember. Be my Valentine?
It said be my Valentine.
Oh, I guessed right. Okay, cool.
Which is like super sad. Anyway,
I know, daggers. So sweet of Mabel and like R.I.P. We loved you.
R.I.P.
And back at the rec room, not the diner, one of the dumb fucks, I think we call him Babyface, is like kind of scanning out women. But then he's like, bro, I have the munchies. And he goes into the kitchen and he immediately gets his face pushed into a pot of boiling hot dog water. And I'm like, who the fuck who started making the hot dogs? And also it makes me want a hot dog real bad. But also I love hot dogs. And that kind of sucks because
you and the producer love hot dogs. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love a good hot dog too, but not just on like a random Tuesday. Like it needs to be the 4th of July at a ball game or like
No.
something I've actually barbecued in my backyard.
No. Anyways, so he has a hot dog boil water face, and we obviously know he's dead.
Yeah.
And then we go back to the station.
And the chief says that he is going to go and check out the mine. And he hears dogs barking out front, which is kind of weird. And he opens up the door, and there truly are some stray dogs, and they are kind of fighting over some sort of box or something. And we find out that it's another one of the heart-shaped boxes with a bloody organ inside of it. And there's a note that says, "You didn't stop the party." And he goes, "Party?"
Exactly.
And then
Also, like, how does the killer make... Sorry, Emma.
it's okay.
How does the killer make income to, like, get these heart boxes and make these notes and supposedly get from one place to another? Just a little noodle for you guys.
He probably daylights at the diner that you think everybody's at.
Okay. Shade.
Sorry, subtle shade. And then back at the party, we see Axel, and he's being a little bit handsy on Sarah. And TJ is kind of telling him to back off a little bit. And then the guys start to kind of get at each other a little bit. And TJ actually ends up telling Sarah, he's like, "Tell Axel that you actually want to be back with me. Tell him." And then they tussle.
It's her. Sarah's the problem. It's her. Thank you, Taylor Swift. But, like, she was just on a romantic seaside cliff with fucking TJ.
And
now,
she kissed TJ.
And she kissed TJ. And now she's like, I don't know. We've all been there.
Classic.
I know.
And then Hollis actually ends up kicking out Axel of the rec room because obviously they've got to break it up with some person, right? So we see Axel kind of stumble away. He grabs a beer. I actually love this scene because he so seamlessly grabs a beer and opens it in a very drunken stumble way. And I wonder how many takes that took to get because it's sort of perfect.
I hope it was one.
I hope it was one as well. And he kind of stumbles out with his beer. And in my head, and I have a note here, this was kind of my first indication that he could potentially be a killer or working with the killer because Axel has now been like sort of separated from the greater group. So just keep that in your mind.
And now that I know that it's not in town and it's by the mine shaft.
It makes a little more sense to you.
Yes, not saying I know who the killer is, but I do.
And then we see one of the couples, John and Sylvia, and they go to the mine kind of locker room area, which is pretty close to the rec room. And they are kind of planning to get frisky. And
they made a makeshift bed out of two benches. And I'm like, I love the creativity. I love the ingenuity. Let's go. We all got to get it in sometimes.
Yep.
And she's like, we need something. And he pulls out, what's his name?
John.
Horny little fucker. Number 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Pulls out a condom. He's like, I got one. And she's like, no, we need beers.
And she says it in the cutest little Canadian accent too.
And he's like, all right, I'll go get them. And she's like, no, I'll come with you. And he says, no, I got you, boo. I'll be right back. And let me point out something very important here. If we have the same notes, Emma, I will, I don't know, kill you or love you. I'm not sure.
Would that be bad?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God.
They broke all 3 of Jamie Kennedy's rules in Scream. Booze, sex, I'll be right back.
They should have known.
They should have known. Thank you, Jamie.
Even though Scream was after this, they should have known.
Yeah, but, you know.
And John goes back to go get those bears for his lady. And as he's in the kitchen, he sees a couple of girls who are making the hot dogs. So you're kind of like, wait, didn't someone just get their face put into the hot dog water? Anyways, one of the girls kind of freaks out because she pulls out a freaking heart out of the pot. And I do not know why during this scene they don't freak out more about there being a heart in the pot.
It's because the little redhead kid is like, oh, what a funny joke.
I know, but even I would be like, what the fuck? Like, where did someone get a heart to put in here? Do you know what I mean?
In
I
the
don't know.
80s,
There should be
would
more
you
questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Just me. Actually, as John is getting beers out of the fridge, he turns his head away from the fridge. And we actually see, as the viewers, we see the little baby face boy, hot dog water man. And his body is in this like fridge freezer. And John actually doesn't notice, and neither do the girls in the kitchen.
Does anybody ever go into their fridge, know exactly what they're pulling out and not just like, because I'm like, I stare at my fridge and I'm like,
Yeah, if you don't know exactly where like your certain things are in the fridge, what are you doing?
No, but like what I'm saying is
like you would be in your fridge looking.
Because I'm a tourist and I'm hungry all the fucking time. I'm like, I would be like, scanning. What do I have?
Yeah, but also maybe if there's a fridge that just has alcohol in it, maybe you're just grabbing.
Did not just have alcohol.
That's true.
Also, maybe if I was horned up and trying to go get it in.
Bears, baits, Battlestar Galactica.
Okay.
I don't know why that was relevant. Anyways, moving on. So then back in the mine, we see sweet little Sylvia, and she starts to hear a few things. She thinks it might be John. It's not. She actually sees that all of these miner outfits that are hanging above her head, they start to kind of come down like one by one. And then they start to come down at an alarming rate all at the same time to kind of block her vision. And I think this is also kind of classic in a lot of horror films where they use like clothing as some sort of like vision blocker. I mean, we see like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, people running through clotheslines with sheets and stuff on them. I mean, it's very classic. She actually kind of gets chased into the showers because the killer has turned on the showers very hot. It's implied, we don't actually see it really, but it is implied that the killer actually lifts her up and he stabs her through the head.
He like impales
or
her.
like neck, yeah, with some of the shower hardware. And this is another scene too that is actually, you can see pictures of what it was supposed to be on IMDb, but this was another scene like I was talking about kind of at more of the top of the episode where they had to cut a little bit of the violence out. Then we see John come back. And unfortunately, he finds sweet Sylvia in her body in the shower.
He like was like, ooh, steamy sex.
Yeah, he like
shower
thinks it's
sex?
like a sexy thing.
Nah.
Yeah.
She did.
It's sad.
Yeah, I know. R.I.P.
And then we actually see the chief kind of pull up to like the mine area, which I thought was kind of interesting because like, I don't know, like wouldn't he hear the kids like partying and maybe go straight to them? But then he actually gets called back to his vehicle because they're trying to radio him to let him know that he actually has a phone call like waiting for him.
Dude.
Which we can kind of assume as the viewer that he's getting a call back from the mental hospital lady.
For sure, but like, damn, it's frustrating. Like, I love...
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Like, I actually have a love-hate relationship with my cell phone, but like, this would have been a good time to have one.
Yeah, for sure. And then we see that some of the crew decide that they want to go down to the mine for a quick ride.
Hollis, our boy,
Our sweet boy Hollis.
he's like, all these foxy ladies are coming towards him and like, hey, let's go to the mine. Also, horrible idea. And he's like, all right, I'm okay. And TJ is like, okay. And TJ's like, nah, dude, no, you know the rule, no women in the mine. And I'm like, problematic.
Rude.
But I get it in this situation. And they proceed to all go down. I think it's like 6 of them.
Yeah. And TJ scolds Hollis. Like, he's like, you know, that's not allowed. And then Patty and the other gal just kind of convince him. Like, as they get down there, they're like, can you give us a tour of the abandoned part? And they were only supposed to have this really quick ride down and back. And now things have taken a turn because Hollis is going to show them more of the mine. And there's a couple that's within this crew, Mike and Harriet, and they decide to break off to go be naughty, which is, as we can tell by some of the previous incidences in this film, not a good idea. Then back at the rec room, we actually see one of the gals, the one that was cooking the hot dogs, and she bursts out of the kitchen into the main part of the rec room and she's screaming. And then we see John actually shortly after her freaking out and running as well. And so we can assume that they have found the 2 dead bodies of little babyface Dave and of Sylvia. And Axel actually comes in kind of at the same time from outside and he says, you guys, Dave is dead. And then TJ is like, Harry Warden is here. Everyone get out. And then everyone's panicking.
Like, this is so sus because like,
so sus.
Like, why do we jump to Harry Warden's here and Axel, where the fuck were you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then TJ actually tries to use the phone to call the chief. Doesn't work, of course. And TJ and Axel talk together. And TJ basically tells Axel, like, Sarah is down in the mine. Like, Hollis took the girls down there with Howard. And they kind of need to, like, team up together to rescue everyone and get them all out.
No, they basically were, let's divide and conquer to find Sarah. They didn't give a fuck about anybody else.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely, like, about Sarah.
Yeah. They were like, who will win this battle?
Yeah. All right, so at this point, we see Axel and TJ, and they are suiting up to go down into the mine on a rescue mission. And Allie made a good point. They're only worried about Sarah. They're not really worried about the rest.
Legit.
But it's kind of funny because actually the producer pointed this out when we first watched this film, but they say that they're going to split up and they shake hands and they say good luck at the very top of the elevator, which they ride down together. It's like, why didn't you guys wait until you were getting off the elevator and going in separate directions? It's like when you walk with someone,
totally.
You say bye and then you guys walk the same direction. Anyways, so then Hollis takes the girls to the abandoned part of the mine. And they actually run into Howard and he scares them because he had snuck off at some point and to try to freak them out. And we actually see the killer's point of view where he's kind of watching the crew. Meanwhile, we see Mike and Harriet as they have snuck off to get frisky. And they are going, I believe, to the engine room. And the crew is kind of walking back out to try and leave. And they start to hear some lights being broken and they start to freak out a little bit. And they're kind of worried too, like, okay, like, where is Mike and Harriet? You know, like, we're trying to leave. Then we see the chief again, and he has left the mine area and he's actually back at like his office, which I can only assume is because he was radioed that he has a phone call. So like, I think maybe back then, obviously there was no way for him to like take that phone call without him just going back to his office. And maybe it's pretty close by to the mine.
If he was radioed, couldn't you say?
I agree. I know exactly where you're going with this, but I agree. But
so he's
it's
back.
A movie.
Yeah. Okay. I always got to take that with a grain of salt. It's a movie.
I know.
He's back in town at his office or wherever, or is he? Because the kids at the party run out and say, "Oh my god, oh my god."
No, he is back at his office, and the kids roll up to his office in their car.
Okay,
yeah,
and
they're like freaking out because everyone's dead. Well,
yeah, they're
two
saying
people are dead.
They're saying Harry Warden's back. He's killing everybody. Kids are trapped in the mine. And I'm like, kids are not trapped in the mine. They just were dumb fucks and went into the mine.
Yeah, they're not necessarily trapped. Like, they brought themselves there.
And Loki, the redhead little dumb fuck, was a good actor in the scene because he looked like really upset that his girlfriend was just killed in the shower.
He did. And then the crew down in the mine, they run into TJ. And TJ actually tells them about Warden and kind of tells, because at this point, they have no idea that people have died. They just think that they're in the mine exploring. And TJ tells them, hey, Warden is back and he's killed some of their friends. They just need to follow him so that they can get out alive.
Like, how, like... So normal, you know?
So normal.
So normal.
Well, and then Hollis like tells TJ, he's like, well, we're missing Mike and Harriet. Like, they were in the engine room and like we can't find them, whatever. And then TJ and Hollis decide to split up to look for them.
Dude, so it's like TJ is going one way.
Hollis is going another way.
Yeah, and like, what's his name?
Howard.
Howard the coward.
He gets, oh my God, so true.
Howard the coward.
He gets tasked with hanging with the girls.
Hanging with the girls, Patty and Sarah. And like, yeah, for sure. A killer's on the loose. Let's all split up.
So dumb. Never split up, people.
You guys.
And then Hollis actually ends up finding Mike and Harriet dead in the engine room.
It happened so fast. Like,
it was so fast.
This whole scene happened so fast. But anyway, so we see that. And then basically immediately daggers for Hollis because he gets yeeted with a nail gun. So our guy, Hollis, is dead. Or is he?
Who knows at this point.
And then we see the three remaining, Howard, the coward, and Sarah and Patty. They're like waiting the shaft. I'm like, why the fuck do you not just run the fuck out?
Just go.
And then Hollis stumbles in to where they are and just like decides to die there. And I'm like, how did you run in here or find us?
It's sad.
It's sad. We love Hollis, but like, what the fuck?
And then Howard the coward kind of leaves the girls because he's freaked out. And Patty is obviously freaking out because that's her boyfriend. And Sarah is
Who's
like...
her boyfriend?
Hollis and Patty are dating.
Oh, daggers.
Yeah. And Sarah's like, well, I need to grab this light off of Hollis's dead body because we need a light if we're going to survive, which I do kind of respect. Sarah, final girl energy. Then the girls run into Axel and he asks where TJ is. So there's this never ending sort of like one person's running into one person, but they're never like all together, which is kind of frustrating. But I mean, it is a mine, so it's probably really hard to get everyone in the same spot. And Axel says that he's going to take them back to the mine car. But this is my second inclination that something weird is going on with Axel because he's kind of taking the girls on sort of a weird path. And even Sarah at one point goes, Axel, where are you taking us? And then they run into another miner and they're really freaked out at this point, thinking that it might be Harry Warden. And they find out that it's actually TJ.
They hit him with like a fucking log.
Yeah, they do.
And also like that's a heavy log, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, he got freaking knocked.
And TJ is like, what the fuck, you guys? Do I look like Harry?
Which I thought was funny because yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Literally.
You're
look
legit
exactly like Harry.
Exactly what he would be wearing. What a dumb fucking question.
Fucking idiot.
I know.
So then the chief actually arrives at the mine, yet again, question mark, and gets another kind of radio in his vehicle. And so we're just back and forth with the chief. Then we're back with the crew, and they kind of find out that they need to go another way. The way that they were originally going just isn't going to work. Again, most of them are all together at this point. Actually, everyone that's down there that's currently alive is finally together.
That we know of.
And they start climbing up the elevator shaft using a ladder.
Fuck that shit, man.
I know. And the girls are definitely freaking out a little bit. Patty's going a little slow.
They're also in heels and dresses.
Yeah, very not ideal conditions. And the girls actually keep asking Axel to kind of slow down. Another weird indication for me that he's just up to something spooky. And then Sarah asks Axel again to go slower because Patty is slow. And she's like, dude, we can't catch up to you. Like, Patty is slowing down a lot. You need to slow down.
We're still going up the ladder, and then the girls are struggling, and then we see this body bounce down, and lo and behold,
falls to the depths of the elevator shaft.
It's Howard. Homie was smart to run, but apparently not smart enough to not get killed by the killer.
Nope.
And I'm like, R.I.P. It didn't work out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so sad.
And Axel is like, nah, fuck this ladder plan. Let's go back down. I know another way. So sus.
Weird. It's like he's keeping them in the mine.
Interesting.
So yeah, Axel says that he knows a shortcut to get to the mine cars. And they're going in this kind of weird area. And as they're crossing kind of like a little bridge, he asks TJ to bring the girls over and then holler at him when they're across. And he'll kind of watch everyone's back, quote unquote. And then we're with TJ and the girls as they're crossing this bridge. And then they think that they might have lost Axel because they hear kind of a crash and like a splash into water. And as they go back to kind of investigate, they see a part of like the wood railing of the bridge has been broken and they see kind of bubbles in the water. So they're assuming that Axel has gone down. And TJ kind of says like, you know, it's too late for Axel. Like, we got to keep moving. We can't really wait for him.
He's like,
he's stoked.
No, he's stoked. He's like, he has no hesitation. He's like, bro, let's bounce.
He's like, oh, shoot, Axe. Okay, gotta go.
Yeah, later, never. And TJ says, like, the water's too deep. Let's bounce.
Yep.
R.I.P.
Yeah. And so they keep going and they hear a noise. And as TJ goes to kind of investigate what the noise is, he tells the girls to stay really, really tight to the wall because they're almost to the cars.
And then he like fucking leaves them. I'm like, why?
So dumb.
Why do we keep doing?
So dumb. Like, what are you gonna do if you find the killer? No offense. Like.
So Patty and Sarah are like by themselves in their heels and their dresses. And then pretty immediately, fucking Patty gets yeeted by the pickaxe. Like, no foreplay, just straight yeeted by the killer.
Yep.
R.I.P.
And then Sarah is now all alone. And then she runs back into TJ, thank God. And then it's their plan at this point to try to escape on the mine cars. And there's this weird scene, I don't know, Ali, if you have this in your notes, where TJ is trying to like queue up the mine cars on this like electric box. And Sarah is staring the opposite way, kind of watching his back. And she sees the killer coming up to them and just, it's this like deer in the headlights scene. But she doesn't say anything to TJ. Wouldn't you be like, oh my God, hurry up, he's coming?
I'm shocked by most of Sarah's behavior in this entire film. She doesn't,
true.
In this next coming scene.
She a dumb bitch.
Yes, she is, but I'm a dumb bitch. So there's that.
Yeah, true. No, I meant like we are dumb bitches sometimes.
Okay, for sure. I know that's what you meant. My side. I'm giving you my side eye emoji right now.
As you're staring into my soul right in front of me.
But no, so she also doesn't scream as much as she probably should have.
Totally.
Like, even if you're in a coal mine and you're trying to save your life, I know, like,
That's
I'd be
true.
I'd probably be screaming. I'd be screaming. But here we go. Are you ready for this analysis?
Go for it, dude.
So, what'd you call it? Like a coal train thing?
Mine car.
Mine car. Mm-hmm. Does it look kind of like a train?
I mean, kind of. It operates on tracks.
And they're on top.
Oh, no. God damn it. God damn it. I know where this is. God, I'm so gullible. No. Ali.
Hey, hear me out.
Go ahead.
Hear me out.
It's fine.
It's the Kohler Express.
Shut up.
Am I right or am I right? They're like, so Sarah and TJ are running up the top.
Kohler Express.
I'm right? They're going up this shaft on this thing full of coal, and they do. It's true, right?
No, it is. Wow.
The Kohler. See, TJ, Sarah are trying to like get towards the top of this Polar Express.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
So the mine carts are like going kind of like
going out like towards the entrance of the
top.
The mine.
The mine, yeah.
Oh my God. If anybody who works in a mine listens to this, I'm so sorry about our terminology. But so they're trying to get out, and somehow this killer is like super fucking slow and like
everything's fine.
Yeah, she's living deliciously, everyone.
I'm actually drinking a White Claw.
Yes.
Is everyone proud?
I am.
Anyways, go ahead.
Well, now I'm very distracted, but they get kicked off of this coal or express. Now they're going back down deeper into the shafts.
Well, there's like a weird like slow-mo fight scene on the Kohler Express.
It's like so silent and like so
and
weak.
Slow.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I know we're going up and we're all tired, but like fight for your life?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never, well, knock on wood.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Thank God. I mean, we'll see. But anyways, so they get kicked off, and then now they're going deeper into the mine shafts to try to run away from our killer. Meanwhile, fucking our chief is like, we gotta get to the mine. I'm like, bro, you should have been at the mine.
He should have been in the mine so long ago. When he brings all his peeps, I feel like he has not only just his like staff, but he also has like mine workers.
Yes, he
as well.
For sure does. And I'm like, why the fuck weren't we there guarding the mine all day?
So dumb.
So dumb.
Yeah, like honestly, in hindsight, if they thought this would be an issue whatsoever, there should have been a lot more put in place. I don't know exactly what that is because I am not a chief, but if you guys would like to elect me as a chief, I could make that plan for you.
Sus. So now we're in a battle royale, or as the producer called it, a menage a trois, if you will. Pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah.
Between TJ.
She keeps trying to want to call him Justin Timberlake, and we just can't let her. TJ.
Producer, this is your fault. TJ, the killer, and Sarah, but like not Sarah because she's just standing there being, oh.
She's kind of trying.
No, she's not, bro. And then we see there's like some fighting and whatnot. And then Sarah rips off mask of the killer. Also, that's pretty bold. So good for her.
Very bold.
And we see that the fucking killer is Axel. And
plot twist.
Yeah, but didn't we fucking see that happening?
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Like we knew.
Yeah.
And TJ's like, why though, bro? And then we get a flashback of Axel's that alludes to like that his dad was one of the supervisors that got killed by
Harry Warden.
Yeah.
Yep. And he had to like watch his dad basically get killed when he was like 5 years old, and he hid under a bed and he was all bloody.
I mean,
pretty traumatic.
Also, why wait like 20 years to inflict your pain?
He's waiting for a dance. He has to follow the rules. Or a party.
Oh, follow the fucking rules, people.
Always follow the rules, even if you're the killer.
Feed me after midnight. So I'm not following those rules.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is breaking the rule, my girl.
I know. The mine shaft, Minecraft? Kidding.
Yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah.
But yes, the mine people and like the sheriff people.
They're coming down, obviously not close enough in time, but the mine shaft kind of tumbles on and closes.
Yeah, basically
falls apart.
Axel has like picked his pickaxe multiple times into like the rock
quarry
area, and TJ pushes Axel into the rock wall, and it actually ends up collapsing on him.
And so as far as we know, he's like under rubble and whatever, but apparently people can live up to 6 weeks under rubble. So
well, and TJ and Sarah, they actually end up meeting up with the mine people and with the sheriff crew. And the chief actually tells TJ and Sarah that he got a call from the mental hospital saying that Harry died 5 years ago.
It's like, this is information that could have been useful yesterday. Okay, Wedding Singer. I'm full of references.
I love it. And obviously, Axel's the killer, so not everyone knows that. Sarah and TJ have their little moment where they get out alive and they're kind of looking into each other's eyes like, oh, we've survived. And Sarah kind of hears one of the mine workers, actually they both do, say that they found Axel alive. They're like, he's alive down here. And then Sarah,
this bitch,
she's like, I have to go see him. Ooh, I think I did a good job. That was a good job, right?
Sure. I don't remember what her voice sounds like, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what she said. And TJ's kind of like, what the fuck? But then follows her because she's like, I gotta go see him. What the fuck, girl? I'm sorry, why do you need to go and see your weird ex-boyfriend who you probably weren't even dating that long, who is a serial killer?
It's because she's the problem. It's her.
Anyways, rolling my eyes.
So we go back towards the rubble scene.
Yeah, where it's like collapsed.
And then I'm not sure how this happens. Like, okay, so the cave, the mine shaft like crumbled upon itself. And now all of a sudden we can see a perfect view of Axel like being like low-key psychotic.
It's like it created a wall so he couldn't get out, but there's still like room.
Like a peephole.
Yeah, a peephole for everyone to see. And then there was still room for him to like back into another eerie tunnel of the mine.
Anyways, he's like running away deeper into the mine shaft, like deep into the earth. And also, like, weren't you just covered in rubble and now you're running fucking fast? But he's like
spewing some nonsense.
He's like, JT, bitch, I'm gonna come for you.
TJ.
I said TJ.
No, you said JT.
No, I didn't.
You literally said JT, bitch.
No, I didn't. I'm gonna need a QA on that one. Producer,
please keep that in if she said JT, because I feel
swear
like she said JT.
And then he's also like, Carrie, I'm coming to Carrie.
You're not making a great case for yourself.
Now you're throwing me off, bitch.
Sarah.
No, he's like, Harry, I'm coming to find you. Like, he's like going deeper into the mine shaft to find Harry.
Yep.
And then he's like, let's fucking fuck shit up, bro.
Yep.
And
he
like,
sounds scary.
He did a really good job of like masking his psychosis for 20 years because he turns into a completely different person. But I guess that's what I don't know.
Well, and can I say like one quick note?
Yeah.
Really quick. When the producer and I were first watching this, and I didn't mention this here on the podcast today, one thing I noticed immediately, and if we're going back to the beginning of the film, when they're all in the showers after the very first like time that we see the guys working in the mine, Axel has this weird like maniac laugh as he's like in the shower, and he's like, ah, yeah, like, and he's just like crazy. And I literally made a comment to the producer like, that guy's crazy. And then to find out like he was actually the killer, and then how like it's about to end is just, it all came like kind of full circle.
Full circle, yeah. So he's spouting out this crazy shit, and then he says like, Sarah, will you be my Bloody Valentine? And then he just like runs off into the caves like Schmeagol or Gollum, whichever one you prefer.
Whichever.
Yeah, I'm both because I'm sour and then I'm sweet. And like that's the end of the movie. He like runs off cackling, and it's kind of like a scary laugh, just kind of like Black Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Those laughs.
Yes.
Also, as they roll credits, I was listening to the song that they were playing, and I'm like, did they make the song just for this fucking credit scene?
They must have.
And they did. It's also giving Tenacious D, and it's kind of a bop. I mean, and then it's over. R.I.P.
That is the conclusion of My Bloody Valentine, people.
R.I.P.
And Allie, first of all,
What up?
did you think that this film was scary?
Negative. Did you?
No.
There was one scene that made me like, boop.
Oh, which one?
And that was when Howard the coward comes down from
like
the
a little
mine
jump
shaft,
scare?
like a little jump scare to scare the girls in the mine shaft towards the end. And I was like, oh, oop. I didn't scream, but I was like, oh, oop. Did you think it was scary?
No, I did not think it was scary at all. I really just like loved it though. I just loved everything about it. I liked the mine kind of killer story. I mean, don't look too deep into the reasons why Harry Warden does the things he does. Right. I would say like, is that really enough to like kill people? But I do love that it's kind of based around this little town that like celebrates Valentine's Day. And I love a good themed movie around a holiday.
Oh, don't we all?
So I really liked it.
I really did love it too. And this was one of the more enjoyable movies to like rewatch a couple times just to take our notes and whatnot. Because this was actually my first time watching this too. And then I watched directly after the 2009 version, which was lackluster, which is sad because Jensen Ackles, which I keep saying, and Jamie King, there was a bunch of people in that movie.
Great actors that we love.
Yeah.
What was your favorite scene?
Anything with Hollis, really.
Hollis is such a little gem.
I know. What was your favorite scene?
I think that my favorite scene was honestly just when the very beginning of the film, when the guys get done showering and they're all just like racing to their cars and they're being just like little silly guys.
That's a good one.
I
That's
just
a
like
good
that one.
Yeah.
It's just like lighthearted. It made me want to hang out with them. I think I said at the top like of the episode, like I just think they're fun.
They seem fun. Now we know they're like murderous and like backstabby. But
only one technically was murderous.
What is the root of our problem here? Sarah.
Women. I was gonna say ooh, that's bad. Sarah. Yeah, Sarah. She's the problem. It's her.
I also loved all the fashion in this, not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, so good. So 80s.
Low-key like late 70s.
Definitely,
early 80s.
Yeah, late 70s. And we don't actually know technically if this took place in 1981 Like, we just know that that was when this was like actually
No,
made.
it is because they reference.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. They reference 1960 was an accident, and then 1961 is when they.
And then you also say, you made a good point that in 1981, Valentine's Day actually does fall on a Saturday.
Yeah. So good on them for like checking their facts.
Love it.
So that was My Bloody Valentine, but now we're going to go back into our trivia section. So pull out your answers of the questions that we read up top. So let's get into it and see who wins this one, Emma.
So question number 1. What is the name of the mining company, Allie?
Is it Hanniger? Hanniger. I can say it a couple more times like
It is
Beetlejuice.
Hanniger.
Okay.
It is. I don't know why I was like double checking to see if it was Hannigan. It's Hanniger. You're right.
All right. So did you get that right?
I did.
Okay. Me too, bitch. Question 2. What Canadian province was My Bloody Valentine filmed in?
Nova Scotia.
Yes, I got that too.
So did I.
You better not have cheated.
I did not cheat.
We've got accents
I
now.
literally don't cheat ever. Okay. Question number 3. How many miners were buried alive in the mines in the gas explosion at the beginning of the film?
5.
5. I got that right as well.
Shit.
Ooh, we're getting into the bonus question. Okay, so the bonus question. This is the tiebreaker. When Axel has his accident, quote unquote, how deep does TJ tell Patty and Sarah that the water is?
2,000 feet?
60.
60?
And I got it right.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why did I say 2,000?
I don't know. And that makes sense because you were like, it seems really deep. And I was like, it's not that bad.
60 deep is pretty.
I mean, it's not
It's pretty
low.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
not shallow.
could you not like go down 60 feet? No?
No,
Oh, okay.
not without bursting
Where the
your
fuck did I get
eardrums.
2,000?
I don't know.
I've been watching way too many of the Titan submersible videos
God,
lately.
as she's always.
I know.
So I won.
Oh, good for you, bitch.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. You guys heard it here. So yeah, that wraps up our episode for today, you guys. That was so fun. We loved it. And we really love this movie. Definitely encourage you guys to watch it and let us know what you think. And as a reminder, please follow us on our socials. We are on Instagram and TikTok at Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. We also have a Patreon and we are kind of updating some of the membership levels. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And if you love our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating either on iTunes or Spotify or wherever it is that you listen to us. And with all of that being said,
Remember, if you're going to CreepyCon, please reach out to us. We would love to see you and give you some stickers and maybe fucking have a drink with you.
yeah, we'd love to meet ya.
We'd love to meet ya. And with that, happy season of love. Don't go into fucking mines and don't go fucking in mines.
And don't do dumb stuff just because you're in love, okay?
And stay spooky, fuckers.